Do you have an addictive personality? I'm Jessica Go. I'm a trauma coach in childhood, relationship and emotional abuse, and I'm going to get straight into it. So when we think of being addictive, we engage in behaviors where we're looking things outside of ourselves to fill up this void from within. And we do this by engaging in drugs, alcohol, partying all day, all night, gambling, gaming, online retail therapy, right? Even overworking. So when we go into extremes of seeking activities to give us this sense of high, that sense of hit, of euphoria, just to fill up this emptiness. And this is stemming back from childhood trauma number 2. So childhood trauma number 2, this is all about the wounding of abandonment. And a lot of people don't get the concept of abandonment. So let me break it down for you. So think of Marilyn Monroe or Audrey Hepburn. Audrey Hepburn had eating disorders, and she went from one marriage to another, and that's the same with Marilyn Monroe. She was addicted to prescriptive medication, she was depressed, and she was swinging from one man to another. And so what happens is that when someone has an addictive personality where they're seeking things outside of themselves, such as codependent relationships, toxic relationships, substance abuse, all that sort of stuff, right? And we feel like we're getting out of control, it's because the little child inside of you is deeply wounded because they didn't feel safe as they were abandoned within the first 18 months of life. Some of you may be aware of this, some of you may not. And how does this show up is you were either adopted, you were either not breastfed, or you were breastfed and you didn't have this emotional bonding with your mum. And so for me, I definitely had this, and I wasn't aware of this, that my mum didn't breastfeed me at all. And I only found this out pretty recent when I took her to the surgery as the doctors were asking her a series of questions. So that made a lot more sense to me why I was addicted to toxic relationships and why it was so hard for me to leave them and exit them, because there was a big part of me that felt like this is the best I can get. And clearly, that's not the case. So what I learned from this is that I had to purge out so much pain by not feeling like I'm enough, that I'm not worthy enough for divine love, for a divine, conscious and healthy relationship. And so these patterns kept showing up until I healed my childhood trauma, until I learned my lesson, until I could see the gifts in every relationship or every encounter that I had with a man, in order for me to manifest and magnetize my soulmate and someone who is a true reflection of the outcome of my healing journey so far. And I just want to be clear that our healing journey never ends. So I'm in a place right now where I don't need a man to love me. I don't need a man to validate me. And I remember in my last relationship, I was so attached, not to the man, but to his family, because his family gave me love and praise for what I do and who I am. And I felt really supported. It was so nice to receive dinners and gifts from them. And it was so completely different to what I had in my upbringing and in my adult life with my direct family members. So the little girl inside of me was so attached to that, thinking this is the family I've always wanted to be in. But when it came to realizing my truth that I didn't want to be in this relationship anymore with this particular man, I knew that I had to end my relationship with his family, who has given me so much love and care and praise, what I've been looking for most of my life. And so this has been a massive lesson for me, because it allowed me to see that I do not need another family, a man, to validate me, to make me feel like I'm enough, that I'm worthy of love. I have to do that on my own. And that's the abandonment wounding, is that, you know, your biggest fear is to be alone, and you'd rather be in a relationship than to be a nun, because the fear is so strong that you feel like you want to die. That's the reality of the childhood trauma number 2, which I like to call it the leading actor. So if this resonates with you, please click on the link below to watch the replay of my webinar, Recover from Childhood Trauma. And if the information in the replay does interest you and resonates with you with what you're going through right now, and you feel you need further support, then you can book a free 30-minute clarity call with myself, which you can also click on the link below if you feel called to do that, and to see if trauma recovery is right for you. So I hope this serves you, and sending you all of my love.